beloved child. There are prayers you whispered in the dark, prayers you barely dared to speak aloud, prayers too tender for human ears, too fragile to survive the weight of the world. Some were soaked in tears, others hidden behind closed doors and clenched fists, and still others were silent screams from the deepest part of your soul. You wiped your tears quickly, wondering if I even noticed. You questioned whether your whispers reached past the ceiling, or whether they vanished into the void. But I want you to know, I heard every single one. Not a syllable escaped me. Not a sigh was missed. Not one tear slipped through my fingers. When you felt alone in the night, I was sitting right beside you, closer than your own breath. While the world was asleep and your heart wrestled with pain, I was listening. I was responding. I was collecting your tears like jewels in a bottle, storing them not as forgotten sorrow, but as sacred seeds that will bloom in due time. You wondered if the silence meant I wasn't listening. But, my child, the silence was never absence. It was presence too deep for words. I was not ignoring you. I was enveloping you. I was not blind to your pain. I was closer than the sound of your own heartbeat. Even when you felt invisible to others, you were never invisible to me. Even when you thought your prayers were too small to matter, they echoed in the halls of heaven. And let me tell you this, heaven shook. Yes, shook. Not because your prayers were loud, but because they were real. Because you still dared to pray, even with a trembling heart. Because you brought your fragile faith to me when everything around you gave you permission to give up. Because you trusted me when nothing made sense. That, my child, is what moves heaven. You see, I am not drawn by volume. I am drawn by authenticity. I am not impressed by eloquence. I am moved by honesty. When you pray in brokenness, it becomes the sweetest offering. When you worship through tears, it becomes a fragrance that fills my throne room. And when you trust me, even when you feel nothing, especially when you feel nothing, that trust becomes the foundation of miracles. In those quiet hours when you thought, God, are you even there? I was answering, I'm right here. In those painful moments when you whispered, I can't do this anymore, I responded, let me carry you. You may not have heard my voice the way you expected, but I never stopped speaking. I spoke through the stillness. I moved in the silence. I acted behind the veil, orchestrating answers that would one day unfold before your very eyes. Child, the world has taught you that value comes from noise, from visibility, from speed. But my kingdom is not like the world. I value what is done in secret. I reward what is birthed in quiet faith. What you prayed in secret, I will honor in public. What you entrusted to me in the dark, I will reveal in the light. You may feel forgotten, but you are engraved on the palms of my hands. You may feel unseen, but your name is written in the book of eternity. You may feel unheard, but your every whisper has shaken the very foundations of heaven. When others saw nothing happening, I saw your spirit grow stronger. I saw your roots go deeper. I saw your heart beat with hope when it was easiest to give in to despair. I saw the war between doubt and belief within you, and I celebrated each moment you chose faith. You didn't even realize that in those battles, you were winning. Let me tell you a secret, my child. In the spirit realm, the battles are not always won with shouts. They are often won with tears, with sighs, with silent surrender. What the world calls weakness, I call warfare. What the world calls invisible, I call eternal. Your silent prayers were not just prayers. They were declarations. They were acts of courage. They were faithful decisions to hold on, even when hope felt like a ghost. And now heaven is moving, not because you performed, not because you proved yourself, but because you believed me. This is just the beginning, my child. The silence was not your grave, it was your garden. And soon, what I've planted in the dark will bloom in the light. So do not despise the prayers that felt too small. Do not dismiss the tears you cried when no one was watching. They were not wasted. They were powerful. They were heard. They were honored. They were sacred. Lift your eyes, my beloved. You're not abandoned. You're not overlooked. You're not forgotten. You are mine. And what you spoke in the shadows will soon be fulfilled in the sunlight. I promise you this. Your silent prayers have shaken heaven, and now heaven is responding. My child, you looked around and saw stillness. You waited for a sound, a sign, a shift. And when none came, you began to wonder, has God forgotten me? Is heaven silent because I've done something wrong? Let me speak clearly now. No, the silence was not my punishment. The waiting was never a rejection. It was not evidence of distance. It was a sign of preparation. I know how heavy waiting can feel. I know how silence can scream louder than pain. I know what it's like when days blur into weeks and weeks into months, and still no answer seems to come. But I want you to understand something sacred. Waiting is not wasting. In the unseen spaces, I was laying the foundation for miracles. I was aligning what you couldn't see. I was answering prayers not with noise, but with holy momentum, slow, steady, sovereign. You measured my presence by the sound of activity. You measured progress by visible results. But I measured your growth by what you did with silence. Did you keep praying when the heavens felt closed? Did you keep believing when your heart was weary? Did you keep standing when it felt easier to sit down in defeat? You did, and I saw it all. While the world looked at outcomes, I looked at obedience. While others watched for fireworks, I was watching your faithfulness. My child, the stillness that felt so unbearable was actually the soil where divine things were taking root. Miracles don't always begin with thunder. They often begin in the quiet, deep beneath the surface, where no one else can see. You thought you were standing still, but in the spirit, you were moving forward. You thought your faith was weakening, but in truth, it was deepening. You were becoming unshakable not by doing more, but by trusting me more. Let me remind you of something eternal. Delay is not denial. I was never ignoring you. I was investing in you. Sometimes, I allow the pause to strengthen your patience. Sometimes, I withhold the visible to refine your vision. Sometimes, I stay silent not because I'm absent, but because I'm working on the answer in ways too complex, too glorious, and too sacred to rush. You see, I am never in a hurry, but I am always on time. Your timeline is not broken. It's being perfected. Your story is not behind schedule. It's unfolding exactly as I intended. There were divine alignments happening that you had no idea about. People being moved, places being prepared, pieces coming together behind the veil. You couldn't see it, but I was weaving threads of purpose through every moment of your waiting. And now, the atmosphere is shifting. Now, the ground beneath you is trembling, not with fear, but with fulfillment. What you thought was buried beneath time and silence is now pressing upward. The prayers you thought had expired are coming back to life. The dreams you almost gave up on are stirring again, not because of your effort, but because of my faithfulness. I do not forget promises. I do not overlook persistence. I do not ignore pain. I redeem it. Every second you waited was a seed planted in my timing, and I never let a seed go to waste. My child, do you feel that shift within your soul? That stirring you can't explain? That quiet courage rising when you thought you were out of strength, that is the sound of heaven moving. That is the echo of answered prayer awakening. The silence did not mean nothing was happening. It meant everything was happening, just not in the way you expected, because my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are deeper than your thoughts. You thought the silence would break you. Instead, it shaped you. You thought the waiting would steal your joy. Instead, it made room for joy no circumstance can touch. And now, you are standing stronger, rooted deeper, seeing clearer, because of the silence, because of the waiting. So don't curse the quiet seasons. Don't regret the delayed answers. Don't mourn the seemingly still days. They were not wasted, they were sacred. They were the furnace where your faith was purified. They were the wilderness where your identity was revealed. They were the hidden places where your heart and my purpose became one. And now you're ready. Ready to walk through the doors I'm opening. Ready to carry what I've prepared. Ready to step into what I've been building all along. Lift your head, my beloved. You didn't miss it. You didn't fail. You didn't fall behind. You trusted me, even in the silence. And that trust has shaken heaven. And now heaven is responding. My child, you have looked for signs. You've waited for miracles to break open like thunder. You've watched the horizon, hoping for clouds to part, for a moment of undeniable clarity to prove that I was near. But instead, what you heard was silence. And in that silence, you wondered, was my faith too weak? Did I miss God's voice? Has He stopped moving because I can't see results? Let me speak into that fear now. I never stopped moving. But more importantly, you never stopped trusting. Even when you couldn't hear me, you chose to believe I was still speaking. Even when you couldn't see me, you decided I was still present. Even when the world gave you every reason to give up, you chose to stand. That is faith, my child, and that is what I have measured. You see, while you were measuring progress by how much changed outside of you, I was measuring trust by how much remained steady inside of you. When you held on to hope in silence, heaven recorded it. When you whispered, I still believe, through tears, heaven celebrated it. When you refused to curse the quiet and instead kept showing up in prayer, heaven was moved. Child, your faith has never been measured by your ability to perform. It has always been measured by your willingness to persevere. I didn't need your perfection. I wanted your presence. I didn't ask for flawless words. I listened for the faith behind the whisper, and I saw it all. While others applauded outward strength, I honored your inner surrender. While others looked for answers, I looked for your endurance, and I found it. In every sigh, in every tear, in every time you chose me over despair. You thought you were losing ground because the waiting grew heavy, but in truth, you were gaining ground. Ground in your spirit, ground in your character, ground in your authority. You were expanding in places the world can't see, but heaven sees everything. You were growing roots in me, and that is a victory greater than any visible success. Listen to me now. The silence didn't prove your failure. It proved your faith. Because true faith isn't shown when the answers come quickly. True faith is revealed when the answers delay. And yet you still bow your heart before me. You weren't waiting alone. I was with you, strengthening you, holding you, developing a foundation in you that could not be shaken. And now, that foundation is ready to carry something greater. Do you feel it? The shift, the stirring? That's not imagination. That's the fruit of the unseen battle you already won. You didn't even know the full weight of what you were standing against. But your faith tipped scales in realms beyond your comprehension. Child, your prayers shifted battles you never saw. Your trust realigned things in the spirit you didn't even know were off. Your persistence opened doors that no human effort could unlock. And now the results are coming. Not because you fought harder, but because you trusted deeper. Because even when belief itself felt like a battle, you believed. Even when you had no answers, you whispered, God is still good. Even when your hands were empty, you lifted them in worship. That is the kind of faith that builds legacies. That is the kind of faith that changes generations. That is the kind of faith I bless without measure. So I say to you now, do not think I overlooked you. Do not think I forgot you. Do not think I moved on while you stood still. No, I stood with you. And while others saw you waiting, I saw you winning. Your faith in the silence wasn't passive. It was powerful. It was intercession. It was obedience. It was spiritual warfare. And heaven responded. Yes, my child, I am about to show you what the silence was preparing. I am about to reveal that the foundation built in the dark was stronger than gold. I am about to pour out what your quiet faith has unlocked. So straighten your shoulders. Wipe your tears. You have not been defeated. You have been developed. You are not running behind. You are right on time. You are not overlooked. You are anointed. You are not fragile. You are forged in fire. Because you dared to trust me when you couldn't trace me. You will now see me move in ways you never imagined. Hold fast, my beloved. You've passed a test the world didn't even see you take. And now, you are stepping into the reward heaven has long prepared for you. The silence did not mean I was far. It meant I was near, nearer than you knew. And the faith you showed in that silence, it shook heaven. And now heaven is responding. My child, there were moments when you believed your prayers had been buried. Moments when you thought time had swallowed them, when silence had stolen them, when the delay had denied them. But today I speak this over you. No prayer prayed in faith is ever lost. Not one. What you thought was forgotten has only been planted. What you thought was delayed has only been developing. What you thought had died has only been dormant, waiting for my perfect timing to bloom. Child, your prayers are not tombstones. They are seeds. And now the soil is shifting. The rain is coming. The light is breaking through. The season of unseen growth is turning into the season of visible breakthrough. I know you've waited long. I know the silence has worn thin your strength. I saw you watching others receive answers while you stood quietly in the shadows. You clapped for their victories while hiding your own questions. You celebrated their breakthroughs while grieving your own delay. But listen to me. I was never absent from your process. I was there, cultivating, pruning, protecting. There were times I didn't allow things to grow because I loved you too much to let the fruit come before the root. I was anchoring you deeply so that when the winds came, you would not be shaken. And now the time has come. The prayers you whispered in weakness are returning in strength. The dreams you cradled in quiet surrender are waking with power. The promises you held through tears are stepping into the light. You prayed for doors to open. Watch now as I swing wide gates you thought were permanently shut. You prayed for healing. Watch now as restoration flows into places long broken. You prayed for breakthrough. Watch now as walls fall that once seemed impossible to climb. I am not only answering your prayers, I am exceeding them. You thought you had to fight for what was yours, but the truth is, I've been fighting for you. You thought you had to earn my response, but I was responding long before you knew how to ask. Because you are mine. Because you dared to hope when hope felt foolish. Because you chose to keep believing, even with trembling hands and a bruised heart. And now, you are standing on the threshold of fulfillment. Not because you demanded it, not because you figured it all out, but because you trusted me, not just with your dreams, but with your timing. This is the shift, my beloved. The time of longing is turning into a time of receiving. The time of tears is turning into a time of joy. The time of praying is now becoming a time of praising. Lift your eyes and look again, not with disappointment, but with expectation. Dust off the dreams you thought were too old. Breathe again into the hopes you were afraid to feel. I am not done with you. I am not late for you. I am not silent anymore. Heaven has heard. Earth is responding. And you are stepping into the answers that I have written long before you ever cried your first prayer. This moment isn't random. This breakthrough is an accident. It is a harvest of every silent sacrifice, every whispered petition, every moment you said yes to me in secret. So walk boldly, rejoice fully, live freely, because what once felt like a season of silence is about to become a testimony of fulfilled promises. You didn't miss your moment. You didn't wait in vain. You didn't believe for nothing. You believed for something eternal. And now, that something is coming alive. The world may look and see suddenly, but I see faithfulness. They will say, "How did this happen?" And you will say, "It was God all along." So hold your head high, my precious one. You are not the forgotten. You are the favored. You are the chosen. You are the dearly loved child whose silent prayers have shaken heaven. And now, heaven is breaking through to earth. My beloved child, you may have believed at times that your voice was too small to matter. You may have thought that your words lacked eloquence, that your prayers were not spiritual enough, that your groanings and tears were not qualified to reach heaven. But listen carefully to me now. It was never about volume. It was always about the heart. Heaven does not respond to noise. Heaven responds to truth, to humility, to trust wrapped in honesty, to the broken hallelujah whispered in the middle of the night, to the God, "Help me," spoken through clenched teeth and weary lungs. You didn't move me because your prayers were poetic. You moved me because your heart was honest. You didn't shake heaven because you shouted louder than others. You shook heaven because you still chose to speak, even when your soul felt shattered. That is what I respond to. When your lips could barely form a sentence, yet your spirit reached for me. I was there when all you could say was, "Lord, I believe, help my unbelief." I leaned in, because I am not after perfect phrases. I'm after genuine faith. Child, never underestimate the power of a whisper offered in surrender. The world looks for influence. I look for intimacy. The world applauds performance. I honor presence. And you showed up. Not once, not twice, but again and again. Even when it was hard. Even when it hurt. Even when nothing made sense. You came to me not with a mask, but with your wounds. You brought your doubts, your weariness, your silence. And that was enough for me. Because what moves my heart is not how loud your prayer is, but how real it is, how persistent it is, how full of trust it is, especially when trust costs you everything. The world may have overlooked those moments. No one else may have seen you kneel in the dark. No one else may have heard the tearful amen at the end of a desperate night. But I did, and I honored it. Not because you got every word right, not because you had all the answers, but because you dared to bring me your truth, and not just your strength. Let me tell you something eternal. Authenticity shakes the heavens more than articulation ever could. I saw the way you chose to love me when your heart was breaking. I watched as you refused to grow bitter, even when bitterness was easier. I witnessed how you held on to hope when disappointment tried to define your days, and I recorded every moment. Heaven is not impressed by credentials. Heaven is moved by covenant. Covenant love, covenant faith, covenant surrender. And you, my child, have walked in covenant, even when it cost you, even when your knees trembled, your spirit stood tall. So now I say, the fulfillment coming to your life is not a reward for perfection. It is the fruit of authentic relationship. It is the harvest of every moment you chose presence over performance, of every second you chose my face over the world's applause. Others may ask you, how did this breakthrough happen? How did the doors open? How did the blessing flow? And you will answer with peace. It came from a God who hears the quietest cry. It came from a Father who values my tears more than my titles. It came not because I shouted, but because I surrendered. Yes, my beloved, you are entering into a season of visible fulfillment, birthed by invisible faithfulness. You will walk through doors that only trust could open. You will receive answers that only surrender could unlock. You will taste the fruit of prayers whispered in brokenness, but answered in boldness. And this will be your testimony, that even in silence, you kept showing up. That even in weakness, you kept choosing me. That even when the world said you were forgotten, heaven was watching and responding. So do not be ashamed of the smallness of your beginnings. Do not compare your process to anyone else's pace. Do not despise the years of silent faithfulness. They were not wasted. They were building altars in heaven, altars that now blaze with my fire, altars that now echo with my voice. Well done, faithful one. I have seen, I have heard, and now I am moving. So lift your eyes, lift your expectations, lift your voice again, not in volume, but in victory. Because the prayers that once felt buried are now breaking forth, not because they were loud, but because they were real, not because they were long, but because they were mine. You are not stepping into answers because you earned them. You are stepping into them because you believed for them, even when belief was a battle. And now, what was whispered will be witnessed. What was hoped for in private will be revealed in public, because you moved heaven, not with the sound of your words, but with the purity of your faith. And now, my child, heaven is responding. My beloved child, the world taught you that you are only as valuable as what you produce, that your worth is tied to your performance, that your identity is proven by your accomplishments. But I do not see you the way the world does. I never have. While others measured your life by milestones, I have measured your heart. When you were hard on yourself for not doing enough, I was celebrating the fact that you didn't walk away. When you questioned your significance because the breakthrough didn't come fast enough, I was already moving behind the scenes to bring it in perfect timing. You see, I was never counting your achievements. I was watching your faithfulness. I never asked you to impress me. I invited you to trust me. And you did. You trusted me when the outcome was uncertain. You stayed when the easier option was to quit. You kept showing up when your hands felt empty. My child, that is what moves my heart. Not what you accomplished in public, but how you clung to me in private. Not how many people applauded you, but how many times you chose to worship me in the dark. Not how fast you ran, but how often you returned to me when you stumbled. You thought, maybe I failed because I haven't seen the results. But I say to you now, you succeeded every time you turned your heart toward me. When you prayed and saw no change, but still believed, you were victorious. When you served without recognition, you were radiant in my sight. when you loved others while your own heart was hurting. You mirrored my love to the world. I never needed you to be famous. I only wanted you to be faithful. I never needed you to have the answers. I only wanted you to keep asking me the questions. You have looked at your life and said, I should be further by now. But I look at your life and say, look how deep your roots have grown. You thought you were stuck, but you were being anchored. You thought you were behind, but you were being refined. You thought I was silent, but I was watching over every step. Even when you thought no one noticed, I noticed. Even when you felt forgotten, I remembered you. Even when your efforts felt invisible, I was shaping you for impact beyond your imagination. You wanted to succeed. I wanted you to be whole. You chased performance. I pursued your heart. You longed for quick results. I was building eternal character. And now you are ready. Not because you've done everything right, but because you've grown through everything hard. You've learned what truly matters. You've discovered how to sit in my presence when nothing else made sense. You found joy not in the outcome, but in the one who walks beside you. My child, hear me. You are not defined by the job you lost, by the promotion that passed you by the silence of your platform, or the size of your audience. You are defined by my love for you, and my love never changes. When others saw only the surface, I saw your spirit standing strong. When you felt invisible in the crowd, I celebrated your every quiet act of obedience. When the world called you a failure for not arriving at some destination, I called you faithful for continuing the journey. So do not let shame speak louder than truth. Do not let the timeline of others become the ruler of your value. Do not let unanswered prayers make you question your place in my heart. You are not loved because you've done much. You are loved because you are mine. You are not valuable because of what you carry. You are valuable because of who carries you. And I carry you still, through the stillness, through the storms, through the victories and the valleys. You are not behind. You are being built. You are not disqualified. You are being prepared. Every season has had purpose. Every delay had design. Every quiet night carried the sound of heaven, leaning close to hear your heartbeat. So lift your head, my precious one. You are not forgotten. You are favored. You are not finished. You are just getting started. The foundation of trust you've built in silence is about to carry the fulfillment of every promise. Not because you earned it, but because you never stopped believing I would bring it. And now, as always, heaven is responding. My beloved child, there were seasons when you heard nothing. No answer, no direction, no confirmation. Just silence, and in that silence, your heart cried out, God, where are you? Have you forgotten me? Am I doing something wrong? But I want you to know this sacred truth. I was never gone. I was never silent. I was building you. The stillness that felt like absence was actually my deepest involvement. I was not withholding myself. I was digging deeper into you. Not to punish you, but to prepare you. You see, my child, silence is not abandonment. It is a holy invitation. An invitation to trust without evidence, to believe without visible signs, to walk by faith, not by sight. Because true faith is not forged in noise. It's forged in quiet obedience. True strength is not built in applause. It's built in hidden endurance. I allowed the quiet not to break you, but to anchor you, to strengthen your foundation, to help you discover who you are when everything else is stripped away. The world praises results, but I was shaping resilience. I was teaching you how to stand firm when nothing else held you up but my word. I was training your spirit to recognize my presence not by emotion, but by revelation. Child, the roots of your faith grew deeper than sight could measure. While others saw stillness, I saw stretching. While others saw delay, I saw deepening. You learned how to sit with me, not for what I could give you, but simply because I am God. You learned how to worship, not to get something, but because your soul needed to sing. You learned to depend on me, not out of routine, but out of relationship. That, my child, is a foundation the storms cannot shake. And now, you are stronger than you know. You may not feel it yet, but trust me, you are not who you were when this began. You have been refined. You have been renewed. You have been rooted. You asked me to take you higher, but first, I had to take you deeper, because height without depth is dangerous. And I love you too much to build you on shallow ground. So I allowed seasons that forced your faith to dig into me, deeper than convenience, deeper than comfort. And now, you are standing on something eternal, something unshakable, something sacred. The silence taught you how to hear my whisper above the noise. The silence taught you how to stand when you felt unseen. The silence taught you that I am enough, even when nothing else makes sense. You didn't just survive the quiet season. You grew in it. You didn't just wait. You worshiped. You didn't just endure. You evolved. And every moment of that journey mattered to me. Every lonely night. Every tear-soaked prayer. Every time you showed up without answers, but with an open heart. You may not have had clarity, but you had courage. You may not have had certainty, but you had commitment. And that, my child, is the kind of faith that moves mountains. So don't despise the silence. It wasn't empty. It was sacred ground, where roots grew, where character formed, where identity was sealed. That season wasn't wasted. It was essential. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. It wasn't relieving. It was me forming you for what's next. And now, because of what was built in silence, you can carry the weight of glory that's coming. You are ready, not because of what you see, but because of what you've survived. You prayed for open doors. Now your character is ready to walk through them. You prayed for blessing. Now your foundation is ready to sustain it. You prayed for impact. Now your roots are deep enough not to be shaken by attention, pressure, or success. My beloved, I do not waste silence. I do not waste pain. I do not waste preparation. And I have not wasted a single moment of your hidden faithfulness. Now, what I've been growing underground is about to spring forth. What was forming in secret is about to shine in the light. But never forget, the power of your future was planted in your past faithfulness. And that faithfulness was proven not in noise, but in silence. So walk forward with confidence, not because of what you can do, but because of who I've made you in the stillness. Heaven heard you in the silence, and now heaven is responding. My beloved child, I have seen your pain, every tear, every ache, every silent scream. None of it escaped my notice. None of it was meaningless. I know you asked me, why does it have to hurt this much? Why didn't you stop it? Why the fire, Lord? And I answer you now, not with distance, but with the closeness of a father who was there all along. The fire wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to refine you. Pain in this world is unavoidable, but what I do with your pain is supernatural. I take what the enemy meant for harm, and I use it to purify, to strengthen, to prepare. You prayed for growth, so I allowed pruning. You asked for more, so I allowed the fire to burn away what could not carry the weight of your calling. You longed for purpose, so I allowed seasons that felt like breaking, but were actually building. My child, I know the nights you questioned everything. I know the moments you collapsed in silence, too tired to try again. I know how disappointment wrapped itself around your dreams like chains. But hear me, your pain has not been wasted. It has forged something in you that comfort never could. It has birthed endurance. It has taught you to lean, not on your strength, but on mine. You asked me to make you strong, but strength, true strength, is not born from ease. It is born when faith is tested, when hope is squeezed, when you hold uneven as the fire rages. That's where gold is made. That's where identity is revealed. That's where dependence on me becomes unshakable. You see, the fire didn't change your value. It revealed it. It burned away the fear. It burned away the need to please others. It burned away the lies you believed about who you are. And what's left, what remains, is pure, strong, ready, real. You are not a victim of the fire. You are the vessel it has purified. You are not weaker now. You are wiser. You are not smaller. You are more solid. You are not broken. You are formed by grace. And I know, yes, I know. It didn't feel holy when you were going through it. It felt brutal, lonely, senseless. But the moments you nearly gave up, the times you whispered, God, I don't know if I can do this. I was closer than your own breath, whispering back, you are not alone. I am with you, and I am making something beautiful out of this. Child, pain has a way of showing you what matters most. It reveals what you lean on. It exposes where your hope really lives. And it calls you back to me. Because when the applause fades, when the crowd disappears, when the doors close, what remains is what is real. And what remained in you was faith. Maybe bruised, maybe tired, but still standing. That kind of faith is rare, and that kind of faith is powerful. You have walked through seasons that could have shattered you, and instead they shaped you. You thought you were being delayed, but I was deepening your roots. You thought you were forgotten, but I was preparing a platform that could not be taken from you. You thought you were being buried, but really, you were being planted. And now the time is near. The fruit of your pain, the wisdom, the strength, the resilience will begin to flourish. And others will wonder where it came from. They will see the strength in your eyes and not understand the story behind it. But you will know it was the fire, and it was me walking with you through it. So don't be ashamed of your scars. Don't hide the places that hurt. Don't silence the chapters you've survived. They are part of your testimony. They are evidence that I was with you, even in the fire. And now, you will carry a weight of glory, not because you earned it, but because you endured it. So rise, my beloved, not as a victim of what you've been through, but as a vessel shaped by fire, filled with purpose, and crowned with hope. For the pain was real, but my presence was greater, and my promises still stand. And now, because you trusted me in the fire, heaven is responding. My beloved child, you came to me in prayer because you wanted change. You longed for breakthroughs, for restoration, for doors to open, for answers to come quickly. And yes, I heard every word. Yes, I moved. Yes, heaven responded. But there was something greater happening, something deeper, something eternal. Because while you were asking me to change the situation, I was changing you. You asked me to remove the storm, but I strengthened your sail. You asked me to calm the waves, but I taught you how to walk on water. You asked me to move the mountain, but I gave you the faith to climb it. Child, don't overlook what I've done within you. Before I shifted the atmosphere around you, I reshaped the atmosphere inside you. Look at yourself now. You are not who you used to be. Your prayers have changed not just your path, but your posture. You now carry wisdom where there was once confusion. You now walk with peace where there was once anxiety. You now stand with authority where there was once fear. This is the transformation prayer brings. Because real prayer doesn't just summon blessings, it builds character. It doesn't just change outcomes, it forms identity. And in your quiet persistence, I have forged a vessel that is ready to carry my promises. You wanted me to move quickly, but I was not just preparing the answer. I was preparing you to receive it. You see, some doors are heavy with destiny, and if you walk through them too soon, they can crush you instead of elevate you. But now, because of what I've done in you, you are strong enough to stand where I'm taking you. There's a new steadiness in your spirit, a new clarity in your thoughts, a new discernment in your decisions. And that didn't happen overnight. That came through fire. That came through tears. That came through daily choosing to keep praying, even when nothing changed. But in reality, everything was changing because you were changing. You prayed for new levels. I gave you deeper roots. You asked for greater influence. I gave you inner integrity. You cried out for purpose. I taught you patience. You may have thought, my prayer isn't working. But it was, because it was working on you, molding you into someone who could handle what's coming next. Child, never underestimate the power of what I've built in the quiet. Character formed in secret becomes strength revealed in the open. And now, the strength you've gained will sustain you, not just in blessing, but in longevity. You are no longer easily shaken. You are no longer tossed by every wind of circumstance. You have learned how to abide, how to wait, how to walk in step with me. And that is maturity. That is spiritual authority. That is the kind of person I can trust with more. So when the doors open, when the prayers are answered, remember, the greatest miracle was never the thing itself. It was who you became in the process. You're not walking into promises as the same person who first prayed for them. You're walking in with deeper compassion, greater insight, and unshakable trust. You now pray not just to be heard, but to hear me. You now seek not just my hand, but my heart. You now understand that prayer is not a transaction, it is transformation. So rejoice, not only for what's coming, but for what's already happened within you. The strength you didn't know you had, it was born in the silence. The peace you now carry, it was shaped in the storm. The power in your voice, it came from persistence in my presence. And now, when others look at you, they'll see answers. I see a warrior, formed in surrender, tempered by trust, empowered by grace. So walk into the fulfillment with your head held high, because you haven't just survived, you've been transformed. And that transformation, that quiet, beautiful becoming, is what made the ground ready for my promises to flourish. So know this, my child. Heaven was never just working around you. Heaven was working inside you. And now heaven is responding. My beloved child, there is nothing random about your life. No moment, no encounter, no delay, no breakthrough. I have authored every page. And now, you are about to see the fruit of what I've been writing in the hidden places. Doors are beginning to open, not by accident, but by divine appointment. Connections are aligning, not by chance, but by my orchestration. What seems sudden to you has been building for a long time in heaven. What feels like out of nowhere has actually been carefully timed by me. Because I am a God of intentionality. I have gone before you. I have walked a path ahead. I have stirred hearts you've never met. I have opened rooms your name has already entered before your feet ever do. Child, Some of the opportunities you are about to step into will seem too easy, too seamless, too perfect, and you'll wonder, why did this just fall into place? It's because I've been moving pieces behind the curtain, arranging what you couldn't reach, positioning people, shifting circumstances, reordering timelines, all to fulfill what I promised you. Nothing is coincidence when you walk with me. What others call luck, you will call divine alignment. What others call serendipity, you will recognize as answered prayer. Yes, my child, those whispered prayers, they reached me, and I began working the moment you spoke them, not just for you, but through you. Some of the doors that are opening now are not just about your blessing. They are about my purpose being fulfilled through your life. There are people you haven't even met yet who have been praying for what you carry. There are atmospheres that need your presence. There are assignments that have been waiting for your obedience. And now, because you were faithful in the silent seasons, I can trust you with greater things. But listen closely. These new opportunities are not just rewards. They are responsibilities. They are not trophies to show off. They are tools to build with. So walk through every open door with humility. Let your heart stay anchored in me. Let your eyes stay fixed on what truly matters. Because your purpose is not platform, it is presence. Let your influence never outgrow your intimacy with me. You don't need to manipulate your way forward. You don't need to force open what I haven't opened. You don't need to compare your pace to someone else's. What I have for you is yours. What I open, no man can shut. And what I've reserved for you, no one else can steal. So don't rush. Don't panic. Don't strive. Walk with confidence, not arrogance. Walk with peace, not pressure. Walk with discernment, not distraction. The relationships I am bringing into your life now, they are for your destiny. Some will come suddenly. Some will feel like long-lost pieces clicking into place. You'll know it's me, because it will carry my signature. Peace, alignment, purpose, fruitfulness. And even when you can't explain why things feel so different, so ready, remember, you've been in a long season of preparation. Now the season is shifting. This is not a lucky break. It's a holy breakthrough. And you are not walking into this as a beginner. You are stepping in as one who has been trained in secret, tempered by waiting, strengthened by trust, refined by fire. So don't hold back. Don't question whether you're qualified. I qualified you. I prepared you. I established you. Now I'm placing you. And every step forward, every door, every assignment, every relationship has already been filtered through my hand. So when you walk into these rooms, remember, you didn't get there by accident. You were sent, and I go with you. Heaven isn't just responding to your past prayers. Heaven is positioning you now to be the answer to someone else's. So lift your head, stand tall in faith, step forward in clarity, and trust this truth with all your heart. Nothing that's coming is random. It's all been written. It's all been orchestrated. And I, your God, am the author of it all. Now watch what I've prepared unfold before your very eyes. Because yes, my child, heaven is responding. My beloved child, you've been called many things in your life. Some of them shaped you. Some of them broke you. Some names you tried to live up to. Others you've tried your whole life to outrun. But today, I silence every false label. Today, I tear down every lie. Because you are not who the world says you are. You are who I say you are. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not inadequate. You are not too late. You are not disqualified. You are not your past. You are mine. Before you ever took your first breath, I named you. I called you. I set you apart. Not based on your performance, not based on your mistakes, but based on my love. And that love cannot be revoked. Child, you have allowed too many voices to define your worth. Voices that spoke from insecurity. Voices that judged by appearance. Voices that labeled you by your delay, your pain, your limitations. But those voices do not know what I placed in you. They didn't see what I wrote over your life before the foundations of the world were laid. They didn't hear the conversations heaven had about your destiny. They didn't witness the anointing I poured into your spirit when no one was watching. So today, I call you by your true name. You are chosen. You are loved. You are seen. You are empowered. You are sent. You are redeemed, not by effort, but by the blood of my Son. You are qualified, not by resume, but by surrender. You are worthy, not because you've done it all right, but because you never stopped coming back to me. Let go of the false names. Let go of the shame-stained labels. Let go of the inner dialogue that says, I'm too much. I'm not enough. I'm too broken. I've missed my moment. Those are lies. Those are not your name. Your real name is written in my heart. It is spoken in heaven, and it carries authority that hell cannot erase. You are not who your failures say you are. You are who my faithfulness declares you to be. You are not defined by your detours. You are defined by my design, and my design is intentional, beautiful, holy. So from this day forward, walk like someone who knows who they are. Speak like someone who's been claimed by heaven. Pray like someone who's not begging, but partnering. Because when you know your name, you stop shrinking to fit the expectations of others. You stop apologizing for the calling on your life. You stop hiding the fire I placed inside you. So rise, my beloved. Rise in confidence, not in yourself, but in who I created you to be. Rise in truth, not in what you feel, but in what I've spoken. Rise in identity, not formed by opinion, but forged in my word. Because when I call you by destiny, not by history. I call you by purpose, not by shame. I call you by your eternal identity, not your earthly performance. You are not the abandoned one. You are not the broken one. You are not the second choice or the almost enough. You are the one I chose. You are the one I carried. You are the one I crowned. So let the old names fall. Let the old versions of you fade. You are not bound to who you were. You are becoming who I've always seen you to be. And that identity, it carries heaven's weight. So when you walk into rooms, remember, you don't carry the name they gave you. You carry the name I gave you. And my name over you is victory. My name over you is restoration. My name over you is beloved, radiant, unstoppable. And when heaven sees you, it doesn't see your past. It sees your promise. Now walk in it. Speak from it. Live out of it. Because the more you step into who you are, the more the world will see who I am through you. And yes, my child, heaven is responding. My beloved child, you've stood before closed doors long enough. You've knocked, waited, hoped, and sometimes walked away feeling forgotten. But I speak this to you today with authority and tenderness. What I open, no one can shut. And what I shut, no one can open. I am the God of divine doors. I am the one who holds the keys, not just to buildings, but to breakthroughs, to healing, to purpose, to places no man can take you unless I lead you there. There are doors opening now, doors the enemy tried to block, doors you thought were locked forever, doors you stopped praying for because disappointment got too loud. But I never forgot. I have not just heard your prayers, I have secured your access. The delays were not denials. They were divine pauses, not to hold you back, but to prepare you fully. Because where I'm taking you next, you don't just need favor, you need foundation. And now you have it, because you stayed, because you surrendered, because you trusted me through every shut door. You see, some doors I closed to protect you. You cried over them, but I saw what was on the other side. I saw the traps, the distractions, the things that would have delayed your destiny. You wanted it quickly. I wanted it correctly. You wanted open doors. I wanted open character, a heart open to me, not just opportunity. And now your heart is ready, and so is the way before you. The season of pressing your ear against a closed door, wondering if I still remember, is coming to an end. Because now, I'm not just unlocking the door, I'm swinging it wide open. And when it opens, it will happen fast. Suddenly, seamlessly, effortlessly. Not because you forced it, but because you were faithful. There will be no confusion, no striving, no competing. What is yours will come into your hands by my hand. And no person, no system, no lie of the enemy can shut what I have decreed open. Not your past, not your mistakes, not your perceived limitations. Nothing has the authority to cancel what I have commanded to begin. I don't just open doors of opportunity. I open doors of healing, doors of restoration, doors of reconciliation, doors of overflow. You'll begin to see movement where there was once only stillness. You'll receive messages, invitations, insights, things you didn't chase, but were sent by me. Things that align, things that confirm, things that only I could orchestrate. And when it happens, do not shrink back. Do not say, "Is this too good to be true?" Say instead, "This is what my Father has promised. This is the door He prepared." Walk through it with courage, with gratitude, with clarity, and never forget, you didn't open it, I did. That's why it can't be closed by fear, by people, or by time. I have called you into this moment, and when I open something, I equip you for it. I walk with you through it. I guard it with angels. I breathe purpose into it. So do not look back at old locked doors. Don't mourn what didn't open. What I open now is better, because it's my will, not just your wish. This is not a season of maybe. This is a season of manifestation. You are stepping into prayers answered not by noise, but by alignment. Not by pushing, but by positioning. So lift your eyes, square your shoulders, and walk in, because I, the Lord your God, have opened the way, and no one can shut it. Heaven is responding. My beloved child, the favor you are stepping into, the influence, the opportunities, the open doors, these are not trophies. They are assignments. This is not a reward to celebrate your greatness. This is a sacred entrustment to reveal mine. You prayed for promotion. You longed for breakthrough. You asked me to enlarge your territory, and now I'm doing it. But not so the world can see how strong you are, so the world can see how close you walk with me. Child, elevation in my kingdom doesn't look like the world's version of success. It isn't about applause, recognition, or applause. It's about weight, the holy weight of responsibility, influence, and presence. The higher I take you, the lower your heart must remain, not because you are unworthy, but because true greatness is found in humility. Do not mistake visibility for validation. Do not confuse platform with purpose. Do not chase momentum. Stay anchored in me, because with every door I open, there is also a call to deeper surrender. With every blessing comes the invitation to steward well, and with every increase in influence comes the need for increased intimacy with me. Child, I did not elevate you to impress others. I elevated you because you proved faithful in the unseen. You served when no one clapped. You prayed when no one watched. You gave when it cost you everything. And now I trust you with more. But remember, more is not for you. More is for me through you. The platform is not the destination. It's the place where my glory will stand through your obedience. So guard your heart. Resist the urge to make it about performance. Stay small in your own eyes and great in mine. Because true promotion is not about lifting yourself. It's about lifting others. It's about carrying my presence into places where it's been forgotten. It's about representing my heart when you speak, lead, serve, and shine. I did not call you to popularity. I called you to purpose. I did not lift you to be admired. I lifted you to be available. Available to love. Available to listen. Available to walk slowly through crowds others rush past. So when the favor increases, so should your dependence on me. When the doors open wider, let your knees go lower. When people applaud, let your soul return to the quiet place where we began. Do not be distracted by success. Be devoted to surrender. For I am not just interested in what you do. I care why you do it, not how far you go, but how deeply you walk with me. Let your character go deeper than your calling rises. Let your purity outlast your popularity. Let your love for me burn brighter than the lights shining on you. Child, I am giving you visibility not for image, but for impact. I am trusting you with influence because you carry my heart. So go where I send you. Speak what I say. Give what I've entrusted. Serve with joy. Lead with gentleness. And above all, remain close to me. Because as high as I take you, I never want you to forget. You only rise safely when you rise with me. This is not about status. It's about surrender. It's not about achievement. It's about alignment. And if you stay aligned, the impact will echo for eternity. So wear this favor lightly. Hold the influence with open hands. Let worship be your weapon, and humility be your strength. Because this promotion, this platform, this season, it is not your reward. It is your assignment. And I, your Father, am with you in every step. Yes, my child, heaven is responding. My beloved child, you've stepped into new territory. With it comes new ground, new doors, but also new battles. And I know, deep down you felt it. That quiet tension, that invisible resistance, the weight pressing on your soul before you even speak a word. But I say to you now, do not fear this new battle, because you are not walking into it alone. I am the one who goes before you. I am the one who stands behind you. I am the one who surrounds you. This fight may look different. It may not roar like the last one. It may be more subtle, more internal, more spiritual, but it is no match for my power. You don't need to figure it all out. You don't need to strive. You don't need to panic. You need to stay close to me. Because every time I call you higher, the enemy will try to intimidate you. He will whisper that you're unqualified. He will stir confusion, comparison, exhaustion. He'll say, you're not ready. You can't handle this. But I say, I have prepared you for such a time as this. I trained your hands for war in the silent seasons. I forged your faith in the lonely nights. I strengthened your spirit in the waiting rooms of heaven. And now, you are not who you used to be. You are sharper, more rooted, more dangerous to the kingdom of darkness than you've ever been. So yes, resistance will come, but so will victory. Because I don't send you to fight for victory. I send you to fight from it. The cross settled your authority. The The resurrection sealed your power. The spirit within you is not intimidated by what stands ahead. Child, listen closely. You don't have to fight every battle. You only have to fight the ones I assign. And even then, I fight through you. I will give you discernment. I will show you which attacks are distractions and which ones are divine assignments. And when I say move, move with boldness. You are clothed in armor, not made by man. You wear the helmet of salvation, the belt of truth, the shield of faith, and the sword of my spirit. This is not symbolic, it is spiritual reality. When you speak, the heavens listen. When you stand, hell trembles. When you worship, walls fall. When you declare truth, lies lose power. Because I am in you, and I have not sent you out to fail. I have sent you to advance. You are not on the defensive. You are taking territory. And as you go forward, I go before you. I am clearing the path. I am confusing the enemy's plans. I am dispatching angels to surround your steps. And when it gets hard, when the pressure increases, that is not a sign you're off track. It is often the clearest proof that you're exactly where I want you. So don't draw back. Don't let fear silence your voice. Don't let fatigue rob your focus. I am your strength. I am your strategy. I am your sure victory. Call on me in the heat of the fight, and I will answer. Worship when it feels impossible, and I will surround you with my presence. Declare my promises, and I will shake the heavens. Child, you are not fragile. You are fortified, not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. You belong to the King of Kings. You move under heaven's authority. You speak with the backing of angels. You walk with the covering of my spirit. This isn't just a fight. This is a fulfillment. The battles you're facing now are making room for the promises you've carried. So lift your eyes, tighten your grip, and take another step. You are not alone. You are not unprotected. You are not unarmed. You are mine. And I, the Lord of hosts, go before you. So go in peace. Go in confidence. Go in victory. Heaven is responding. My beloved child, I did not create you to barely make it. I did not design you to wake up each day just trying to survive. I made you to live, to thrive, to flourish. You were not formed for a life of just getting through. You were created for purpose, joy, freedom, and fullness. You were not meant to drag yourself through your days. You were made to walk in strength, to move in grace, to shine with my light. Somewhere along the way, the weight of life tried to convince you that survival was all there is. But I never called you to survive. I called you to overcome. And not just overcome hardship, but overcome fear, overcome anxiety, overcome scarcity, overcome the lie that says, this is as good as it gets. No, my child, there's more, so much more. More joy than you've tasted, more peace than you've known, more clarity, more purpose, more delight. Not someday, but starting now. I am breathing new life into dry places. I am reviving the dreams you buried. I am igniting passion where there was once only pressure. You have lived too long under the lie that says your role is to endure while others enjoy. But that is not my heart. My word says that I came that you may have life and have it abundantly. That's not theory. That's your inheritance. Abundance doesn't always mean more possessions. It means more presence, more strength in your spirit, more laughter in your days, more clarity in your decisions, more energy to run your race with joy. Yes, I know the battles have worn you down. I know the waiting has been long, but I have been restoring your soul moment by moment. And now, You are stepping into new vitality. The heaviness you've carried will begin to lift. The fog will begin to clear. The joy you thought you lost will start rising again, this time deeper. Not based on circumstances, but rooted in my love. Child, joy is your weapon. It is not weakness. It is not optional. It is a holy defiance against despair. And peace, it is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of me, dwelling within you, steadying your heart when all else shakes. I want you to wake up not with dread, but with expectation. To go to sleep not with fear, but with security. To walk through your day not just hoping for relief, but overflowing with purpose. Because you carry me, and wherever my spirit is, there's liberty, there's joy, there's power, there's life, abundant and unstoppable. So today I declare, you are stepping out of survival mode. You are leaving behind a mindset of just enough. You are rising into a lifestyle of faith, fullness, and freedom. You will dream again, not cautiously, but boldly. You will laugh again, not nervously, but from your belly. You will dance again, not to escape sorrow, but to celebrate breakthrough. You will stop apologizing for your existence. You will stop settling for less. You will stop defining your life by loss and start seeing it through the lens of redemption. Because I am restoring your joy. I am renewing your energy. I am reawakening your hope. And every moment you choose joy, especially when it costs you, heaven moves. So lift your head, take a deep breath, and smile again, not because everything is perfect, but because I am present. This is not just a new chapter. It's a new way of living, no longer marked by exhaustion, but by expectancy. No longer chained to fear, but free in faith. My child, you've survived long enough. Now it's time to live, with power, with purpose, with joy, because this is what I died to give you. And now, heaven is responding. My precious child, there are places in your heart you've tried to forget, memories you've buried, pain you've suppressed, questions you've silenced. You've learned how to function with wounds still bleeding. You've covered them with smiles, distractions, responsibilities. You've said, I'm okay, when deep inside you weren't. But today, I am coming gently, not to expose you in shame, but to heal you in love. Because I see the places even you avoid. I see the scars behind your strength. I see the ache behind your laughter. I see the fear behind your independence. And I'm not afraid of any of it. I don't flinch at your pain. I don't recoil from your mess. I don't back away from your questions. In fact, I run toward them. Because I am your healer. And I didn't come just to touch the surface. I came to restore the whole you. Not just your energy, but your heart, your trust, your ability to receive love again, your capacity to believe again. Child, you don't have to keep pretending you're fine. You don't have to keep proving your strength. You don't have to keep carrying what was never yours to hold alone. Let me in. Let me into the memory you avoid. Let me into the moment that broke you. Let me into the story you stopped telling because it still hurts too much. I can handle it. I already saw it. And still I chose you. I love you. I delight in you. You think healing means forgetting. But no. True healing means remembering without pain. It means revisiting without reliving. It means releasing what once ruled you. And I will walk you through it, step by step. I will not rush you. I will not shame you. I will not abandon you midway. My healing is not a quick fix. It is a holy process. But I promise, it leads to freedom. You've spent so much time surviving that you forgot healing was possible. But I am the God who restores. Not just what was lost, but what was stolen, what was taken before it had a chance to bloom. I restore innocence. I restore hope. I restore your ability to feel without fear. So today, lay it down. The memory, the wound, the shame, the silence. Let my love wash over it like a healing rain. Let my truth rewrite the story your pain has been telling you. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are not beyond restoration. Your healing will not look like hiding. It will look like wholeness. It will look like a soul that breathes deeply again. It will look like eyes that shine again. It will look like worship that overflows, not from perfection, but from peace. I want to heal what the world ignored, what time didn't fix, what words couldn't soothe. I want to go where only I can go, the inner sanctuary of your soul. And in that place, I will whisper, you are safe here. You are loved here. You are whole here. You've cried long enough in the dark. Now, let me lead you into the light, the kind of light that doesn't expose to embarrass, but to restore what darkness stole. And when I'm finished, the world will look at you and see glory where there was once grief, strength where there was once sorrow, healing where there was once hiding. Because what I heal, I make holy, and what I touch, I make new. Yes, my child, heaven is responding. My beloved child, you asked me for answers. You longed for open doors. You cried out for signs, direction, and change. And yes, the answers are coming. But this is more than a season of response. This is a season of awakening. I am not just solving your problems. I am awakening your spirit, awakening you to who I really am, awakening you to who you really are in me. This is not about religious routine, not about checking boxes. This is about encounter, about intimacy, about revelation. I am pulling you deeper, deeper into my voice, deeper into my presence, deeper into my truth. Not just the truth you quote, but the truth you live. You've known me as the God who answers, but now I'm revealing myself as the God who dwells. I don't just want to fix situations. I want to fill your soul, not just visit, but abide. Because awakening is not about feeling more. It's about becoming more alive in me, seeing with clarity, hearing with discernment, walking with purpose. In this season, I am sharpening your spiritual senses. What used to confuse you will now become clear. What you once tolerated, you will now discern. What felt heavy before will now be carried in peace, because you will know it's anointed. Child, I am waking up your true identity. You are not who life has told you to be. You are not who pain shaped you into. You are who I have spoken over you from the beginning. And when you know that, really know it, you stop striving, you stop comparing, you stop hiding, you start walking in boldness, speaking with authority, praying with precision, and living with holy fire. This is not just breakthrough for your circumstances. This is breakthrough in your inner world, a clearing of fog, a collapsing of lies, a stripping away of every layer that kept you numb, distracted, or disconnected. I'm restoring your sensitivity to my spirit. You'll begin to sense my presence more often. You'll feel my nudges more clearly. You'll recognize my peace as your compass. I am no longer allowing surface-level Christianity to sustain you, because what I'm calling you to requires depth, requires rootedness, requires real connection. So yes, I am blessing you, but even more, I am building you. I'm awakening your hunger for my word, your love for quiet moments with me, your desire for the deep things of my kingdom. You will begin to crave what is eternal and release what is temporary. You will stop chasing moments and start cultivating movements within you and around you. This is the season where the veil is being lifted, where religion turns into relationship, where your eyes are open to see me in every detail, every step, every breath. And as your spirit awakens, you'll walk lighter, think clearer, love deeper, serve stronger, not because life is easier, but because you are anchored in me. You will begin to live from the inside out, not the outside in. Not led by pressure, but by peace. Not driven by fear, but by faith. Not chasing approval, but walking in beloved identity. And that is awakening. That is revival. That is how transformation becomes a lifestyle. So don't just look for answers, look for encounters. Don't just seek miracles, seek me. Because when you find me, you find everything else your soul has been longing for. You are not just entering a new season. You are becoming a new creation, fully alive to my presence and my purpose. And that, my child, is why heaven is responding. My beloved child, you may think what's happening is about your healing, your restoration, your dreams coming to life. And yes, those are part of it. But I want you to see the bigger picture. This is not just about you being restored. This is about my kingdom being established through you. You are not merely a recipient of breakthrough. You are a carrier of divine authority. You are not just being lifted. You are being deployed. This shift you feel, this new boldness, this clarity, this favor, it is not random. It is strategic. I am moving through you, not just to bless your life, but to touch lives through your obedience. You are an ambassador of heaven. Wherever you go, the atmosphere should change. When you speak, darkness should back away. When you show up, peace should enter. Because you are my representative. You've prayed, Lord, use me. Now I am answering, but not in the way the world defines usefulness. Not with status or spotlight, but with power and purpose in the unseen. The workplace you're in, it's your mission field. The family you've been placed in, that's your ministry. The community you live in, that's your ground to plant seeds of heaven. Child, the kingdom is not coming one day. The kingdom is now. And it's coming through people like you. People who say yes when it's inconvenient. People who stay faithful when no one's watching. People who love boldly, speak truthfully, give generously, and live purely. This is why I've been preparing you so thoroughly. Because what you carry is not light. It is eternal weight. Every time you extend grace, the kingdom advances. Every time you forgive instead of retaliate, the kingdom expands. Every time you pray when no one sees, love when it costs, speak when it's risky, you are building my kingdom. You thought your life was small, but I tell you, your impact is eternal. Don't underestimate the power of obedience. Don't measure effectiveness by visibility. Heaven counts differently. The conversations you thought were casual, I used them. The prayers you whispered in private, I stored them. The sacrifices no one acknowledged, I recorded every one. And now, I am increasing your influence. Not so you can build your name, but so you can reveal mine. Wherever you go, go as one who is sent. Speak with my authority. Love with my compassion. Serve with my strength. Because this world doesn't just need another opinion. It needs my presence. And my presence will flow through you. So rise not just as someone who's been saved, but as someone who's been commissioned. You are not on the sidelines. You are not on pause. You are not too late. You are right on time. I am building something far bigger than you can imagine, and you are part of it. A living stone in my kingdom, a vessel of my glory, a witness of my power. This is not just a personal season of blessing. It's a kingdom moment. So walk in it, live it, own it, And never forget, the world will see me through you. Because heaven is not just responding to your cry. Heaven is building through your life. My beloved child, you are stepping into overflow. The doors are opening. The resources are coming. The favor is increasing. The answers you once longed for are now within reach. But as the blessings rise, I whisper this to you. Stay low. Stay close. Stay humble. Because what I'm giving you is not just provision. It's a test of posture. You see, lack challenges your trust, but abundance challenges your heart. Lack asks, will you still believe I'm enough? But abundance asks, will you still believe you need me? Child, I'm not warning you to scare you. I'm preparing you to sustain what I'm entrusting. Because promotion without humility is dangerous. Favor without reverence becomes pride, and blessing without intimacy becomes empty. So as I pour out more, let your roots go deeper. As I raise your platform, bend your knees lower. As I multiply what's in your hands, lift your hands to me and surrender. Never let your gift grow louder than your gratitude. Never let success drown out my still, small voice. Never let public favor replace private fellowship. I did not elevate you for applause. I elevated you because you were willing to walk with me in the shadows. And now that light is shining, don't run ahead. Don't lose yourself in what's happening around you. Stay anchored in what I've built within you. People may start praising you. Don't drink it in. Let every compliment be a crown you lay at my feet. Let every opportunity be a reminder. I am nothing without him. This is all for his glory. Because humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of me more. It's remembering. You didn't get here by strategy. You got here by surrender. You weren't promoted by popularity. You were positioned by my plan. Child, the enemy loves to attack through abundance. He whispers pride through praise. He tempts you to believe you no longer need daily dependence. But you do, more than ever. Because the higher you go, the more dangerous distance becomes. Stay near. Stay yielded. Stay soft. Keep your heart tender before me. Let tears still flow in worship. Let silence still move you. Let my word remain your compass, not your own wisdom. This is how you protect the blessing, not by guarding it with fear, but by living in reverence and awe. Let me be the center always, in gain and in growth, in overflow and opportunity. And when the world says, you're amazing, let your soul say, it's all him. Because your strength is in your surrender. And your security is in your humility. So walk through this season with boldness, yes, but also with brokenness, a holy dependence, a daily leaning on my grace. This is how you keep rising without losing who you are. This is how you reign with purity. This is how you flourish without falling. So rejoice in the blessing. Celebrate the abundance. But always remember, it is I who give and sustain, and I walk with the humble. Yes, my child, heaven is responding. My beloved child, you've waited, you've wept, you've wondered, you've worshiped through silence, believed through storms, and hoped when hope itself felt distant. And now, the time has come. This is not just another day. This is not just another moment. This is the appointed hour, written into your story before the foundations of the earth. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where I've led you. The delays were not detours. They were divine development. The quiet seasons were not wasted. They were the birthing grounds of destiny. Every trial shaped you. Every prayer matured you. Every test trained you. Now stand up. Not in your own strength, but in mine. Stand in authority. Stand in clarity. Stand in the confidence that I go before you, beside you, and within you. You don't need another confirmation. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need everyone to agree. You only need to believe that I have called you, and I have. You are not just stepping into opportunity. You are stepping into fulfillment. The things I've whispered in secret, now they will be seen in public. The promises you held in your hands like fragile seeds, now they will bloom. The territory you only dreamed about, now it is under your feet. Because I am not just opening the way, I am walking it with you. And as you go, miracles will follow. Not because you're chasing signs, but because signs follow the ones who walk in obedience. You will see doors swing open. You will see divine alignments fall into place. You will speak and hearts will soften. You will serve and lives will be changed. You will carry my presence into places that have long been dry, and through it all, you will remain mine. Nothing can separate you from my love. Not success, not opposition, not even your own doubts. You are sealed by my Spirit. You are anointed for impact. You are chosen for such a time as this. So rise, not as the one who barely made it, but as the one heaven has prepared. Rise, not with fear, but with fire in your bones. Rise, not looking back, but stepping boldly into the new things I am doing. Because this is your time. This is your hour. This is your moment. The silence was never the end. It was the sacred ground where glory was forming. And now, glory will rise through you. Child, the world needs what I placed in you. So don't shrink. Don't stall. Don't apologize. Stand up. Step forward. Move with me. I am not done with you. I'm just getting started. And every step you take from this moment on, heaven moves with you. Because yes, my precious one, heaven has responded. Now it's your turn to rise.